Okay, so we're moving on today to looking at what happens when we do not have even the same numbers or additive inverses at all on solving with elimination on our systems. We're going to have to create one by multiplying by a least common multiple. So let's start by just solving a couple simple ones where I have the same. So go ahead and hit pause. See if you can come up with the answers for X and Y on both of these, and I will catch up with you in a minute. Okay, so let's see how you did. So I know that I am going to probably want to get rid of the Y's here, and I see that they're the same, so I know I have to multiply by the -1. So a -2x, a -1y, and a 0. And I'll go ahead and cross that one out. Here's my opposites, my additive inverses, they're gone. And I'm adding down. So -1 and -2, that's a -3x. 3 and 0 is 3. So I see that dividing by -3, I get x equals -1. So my first solution, I have -1. And I'm going to go ahead and substitute into the top one to come up with my y value. I'm going to put in my 1. So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 plus y equals 0. I know I have to get y by itself, so the opposite of a +2 is a -2, so y is going to equal a -2. So there's my first one. All right, so same thing on the second one. I see that the y's are the same, so I know I need to multiply one of these by -1. So -8x, a -1y, and a +16. These guys are going to go away. -11x is equal to 11. I know x is -1 by division. So I have the first part of the second answer. And again, I'm going to go ahead and use the first one. I'm going to substitute in my -1. 8 times -1 is 8. Solving for y, opposite of -8 is +8. This is gone. Drop the y. -16 plus 8 is a -8. So I have my two solutions there. Okay, our new step today is a problem like this. So what are we going to do on this problem? Because I don't see that I have a +2x or a -2x or a +2y or a -2y. I don't even see that. Okay, so how can I make additive inverses on this problem? Well, I'm going to have to make them by multiplying, but I'm going to have to multiply by something other than a -1. I'm going to have to multiply by some number that is a least common multiple, okay? A least common multiple. So what I want to look for is to make my life easier, I want to look for a positive and a negative, okay? So find something that's partially there on additive inverses. So I see that both of these are positive. Yeah, those are both the same. But I see that these are positive and negative. I have one of each. So that's important that I have one of each. That will make my life a little bit easier. And I also see that this is a 1. Okay? So I think I can multiply by something to make the opposite of a -2y. Well, the opposite of a -2y is a +2y. So what do I have to multiply the 1 by to make +2? That's a 2. So 2 times 1 is 2x. 2 times +1 is 2y. And 2 times 2 is 4. So now this equation is gone. And I am looking at these two right here. Okay, so my additive inverses are here. They're gone. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. Divide by 4, and I get x equals 2. So I see that my first answer is x equals 2. And I'm going to go ahead and use my second one that I haven't crossed out. And I'm going to drop in my 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And solving for y, I have to move my 4 by subtraction. So negative 2y, 4 minus 4 is 0. Divide by negative 2, y equals 0. So my solution is 2, 0. Okay, 2, 0. So the trick is we're going to look for a positive and a negative. Okay, so opposite signs. And preferably if I have a 1, that will make my life easier. We will see that at times, like if I have a 2 and a 4, I may have to make the 2 a 4. Or if I have a 5 and a 10, I may have to make the 5 a 10. Let's look at another one. Okay, again, I'm looking for a positive and a negative. So my x's, I don't have a positive and a negative. But here I have a negative and a positive, so that's good. So I know I need my y's. Okay, let's take a look at our y's. We have a positive 3y, so the opposite would be a negative 3y. So what am I going to have to multiply that top line by to make a negative 1 a negative 3? Yeah, I need a 3. So 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3, and 3 times 11 is 33. So now this equation is gone. I'm looking at just these two. And my opposites are here, and they're gone. 18 and 2, that's 20x. 33 and 7, that's 40. Divide by 20, I get x equals 2. I get x equals 2. And I'm going to go ahead and use my second one. So 2 times 2, 3y, and 7. 2 times 2 is 4. And solving, subtracting my 4, 3y equals 3. Remember, that goes away. Divide by 3, y is 1. Y is 1. Okay, let's talk about, again, how to check these guys. So I'm going to go back to my original equation. 6x minus y equals 11. And I am going to substitute in twice. And my answer is 2, 1. So I'm going to put in a 2 and a 1. 2 for the x and the 1 for the y. So 6 times 2 is 12. And minus 1. So 12 minus 1 is 11. 11 equals 11. That is true. So I know I did at least one part of this right. Okay, now I got to check the other equation. 2x, 3y, and a 7. I got to put a 2 and a 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. 7 equals 7. That one is also true. So if both of them are true, I know that I have solved them correctly. Okay, let's go to the middle one. See if we can figure out what we're going to multiply by. Okay, so I do not see a positive and a negative this time. I see 2 positives or 2 negatives. So I guess I get to choose. Do I want to get rid of x's or do I want to get rid of y's? I think I want to get rid of x's. So I think since this is a 1 and this is a positive 2x, I need a negative 2x. So what am I going to multiply this bottom one by to make it a negative 2x? Well, let's divide. Negative 2 divided by 1, that's negative 2. I'm going to multiply by a negative 2. So negative 2 times 1 is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 1 is a positive 2y. And negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Now I do have to rewrite this top equation just to make it a little bit neater so I know which ones I'm looking at. Here's my additive inverses. And I have positive 2y minus 3y, that's a negative 1y. And I'm adding those guys, there's a negative 3. Dividing by a negative 1, I get y is 3. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use my first equation. Drop in my 3. 2x minus 9 equals negative 1. Add my 9. 2x equals 8. Divide by 2. X is 4. So my solution is 4, 3. And we won't check this one. We'll check the other one when we have more space on the side. Okay, let's take a look at this next one. So I see that I have a negative and a positive on the y. So that's good. That means I can multiply the top one by something to make the opposite. So I have a negative 4y, I need a positive 4y. So what am I going to multiply 1 by to make a positive 4? Yeah, it's a 4. So 4 times 3, that's 12. 4 times 1, and 4 times 5 is 20. So now I'm looking at these two problems. And those guys, my y's are going away. So 5 and 12 is 17x. Negative 3 plus 20, that's 17. Divide by 17, I get x equals 1. Okay, now I'm going to use my first equation to drop in my 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus y is 5, minus 3, gone, y is 2. So my solution is 1, 2. Okay, let's check these and see if it worked. So 3 and 1, 5. I got to plug in a 1 and a 2. 3 plus 1 is 3, plus 2, so 5 equals 5. Let's check my other one. 5x minus 4y equals negative 3, so 5 times 1 minus 4 times 2. So that's 5 minus 8, and that is negative 3 equals negative 3. So both of these are true. So I see that I solved them correctly. Let's see if we can make our computer move to the next slide here. Okay, let's take a look at this one. So our first problem with this one that I see is that we're not lined up. Like the numbers are not in the right order. Are they? They're not in the right order. So I need to move the y. This y has to go to the other side so that it is in standard form. So to move it, I need to add 9y. So that would give me 6x plus 9y equals 18. Okay, so now I need to look at this and decide what I'm going to do, because I see I have a 6 and a 10, a 9 and a 15, and a 15, and none of those are easily multiplied. So there are times when I actually have to multiply both lines. So let's look at the x's. Let's look at 10 and let's look at 6. So let's count by 10s. 10, 20, 30, 40. Let's count by 6s. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. What number do you see they have in common? Yeah, the 30. So that's my least common multiple. Okay, that's my least common multiple. So I'm actually going to multiply both lines to be able to create my additive inverses. So if I want the first line to be a positive 60x, what am I going to multiply by? Yeah, I need a 6. So 6 times 10 is 60. 6 times 15, what is 6 times 15? 6 times 15 is 90. So that's positive 90y. And I have another 90 here. Okay, so I did the first one. So what do I need my second one to be? I need the opposite of a positive 60, so I need a negative 60. So what am I going to multiply here by? What number do I need there? Well, let's divide. What is negative 60 divided by 6? Yeah, it's negative 10. So negative 10 times 6 is negative 60. Negative 10 times 9 is negative 90. And negative 10 times 180 is negative 180. Okay, now let's combine. Those are gone. That's a 0y and a negative 90. Now what? What happens here? Well, I have 0 equals negative 90. Is that true or is that false? Can I do that? Does 0 equal 90? No, I can't do it. 0 equals 90 is false. So that tells me I'm either no solution because the lines are parallel, or it's infinitely many. Which one is it? Which one was false? Yeah, it's no solution. Okay, it's no solution. All right, so we're done for today. Go ahead and get started on your homework and let us know if you're struggling.